Hi guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making some wall decor out of just little scraps of wood. The great thing about this project is it doesn't have to be any particular size. It can be something that has already been painted on and you can just paint over it like I am some of these pieces. It can be 2x4s, which will stand up and actually be a shelf sitter. Or it can be a fencing board, or you can go to a construction site like I do, and they actually throw out wood, and you'll just find it laying in the yard. And usually if you stop and ask, they'll let you have all of it that you want. If you don't own a saw, then just pick up some pieces that have already been cut. But this is just a very easy project and very quick and very inexpensive. So as you can see here, I'm just painting these just different colors, and now I'm going to be making some different projects with it. Now this board is just stained. I didn't paint it. And this that I am tearing here, I'm tearing the ends to keep them from being so precise. But this is just a page from a calendar that I bought at the Dollar Tree. Now, I haven't seen them this year. I got this maybe even a couple years ago. But I'm just showing you can decoupage most anything onto these boards. So I'm just decoupaging this on the top here. And then I'm going to make this a wall pocket. Once this dries, I just take this burlap here, and I'm just going to wrap it all the way around the bottom of the board. And I know you can see through it, but that's okay. I'm going to be adding another layer to this anyway. So I'm just going to glue this bottom, and make sure you get that bottom glued really well, because that's going to be the bottom of our pocket, and we don't want our flowers falling through that. And then we'll just wrap it around and secure it in the back with hot glue also. You could use scrapbook paper instead of this calendar page, or you could use something that you printed off on your computer. There's several free websites. I like to go to the Graphics Fairy and then just in the search just put free graphics, and all kinds of things will come up. So you could just use that. Okay, now that I have this burlap secured, now I'm just going to take some other fabric, and this is just, it's kind of like drop cloth. I don't even know what the name of it is because I bought it in a sale, and it was at an estate sale when they were actually selling out at the end. And so I just bundled a bunch of fabrics together. So I really don't know what this one is. It's thinner than canvas, but thicker than muslin. So I'm not sure at all what this is, but it works. So I did want something substantial. I wanted some thickness to this piece. And so now I'm just going to glue that on. And because this burlap is so porous, this glue will definitely go through. So that's fine when we're gluing this bottom and down the sides, but when I glue that top, I do stick a couple of cards in there just to keep that from bleeding through and closing that pocket. So now I'm going to be adding a stamp to this, and I wish I could tell you where I get all my stamps. Most of them I've had for quite a while. And when I bought them, I didn't know I would be doing these videos, and so I didn't keep up with what the name of them were and where I got them. Most I got from either Etsy or Amazon. Some I got from Hobby Lobby. I know this one didn't come from Hobby Lobby. Most likely it was Etsy, because I'm pretty sure this one is an IOD stamp, and you have to get those from Etsy. or that's the only place I've seen them. So I'm just putting this little stamp here in the middle, and I know putting that bee down on the bottom is a little bit redundant, but that's just what I decided to put on here. Now here I am using this lamb's ear, and this is, I get this from Walmart, and I think both of these together is one pick, and it's 97 cents. Now they do have a larger pick that is I think $3, but I usually just buy the small ones. And you could just leave greenery in here, but because there's a little bee on here, I thought that I wanted some yellow flowers. So this is a new pick from the Dollar Tree this year. And so there's one like this, and this is about half of it. And then there's one that has just the yellow flowers with a little bit of the purple. And I feel like they're really stepping up their game with the flowers this year. And there's that purple flower from another one. But I wanted to stick to yellow here, so I don't use that purple in this. So just put just as many or as few as you want in this, and if you want to add other items that you could stick down in here, then I'm sure you could come up with some cute ideas, but for me, I just wanted to do flowers. So once I get all my floral in here, then we do need a hanger. So I just take a piece of gingham, any thin fabric will do. I just tear a strip of it, tie a knot in each end, and glue it to the front of each side. And it makes a good little hanger, and it holds really well. So now I'm just using a fencing board. So this is just like maybe an 8-inch section of a fencing board. And this that I'm decoupaging on is just some gift wrap from, or not gift wrap, but the tissue wrap from the Dollar Tree. And I think I got this a couple years ago, and I bought quite a bit because I really liked it. And I'm just now starting to run out. I don't know if they have it now. I hope they do, because I definitely will be getting some more. So you can just take your wall pocket just as high up as you want. I go about halfway so that my stems have room, but it doesn't stick out above the top. Personally, I just don't like the flowers to stick above the top of the board. And now I'm just folding the bottom part under and the top part out. And then I'm just going to be securing this all the way around. I'm going to add that same little bee stamp to this one. And I do use this bee stamp a lot, but I'm using green ink here so that it will match my tissue wrap in the back. And then I'll just secure it all the way around. Make sure that you get that glued really well on the bottom, because you don't want your stems coming through. And I do glue a little piece of card on the inside here, because this fabric is not quite as substantial as I would like. But that little card works fine, and you don't see the stems, or the stems don't try to poke through, and I just don't like that look. But I didn't want to stuff this one because it's so small, and that little card worked well. And I'm not gluing my flowers in here. That way I could just take it out and change up those flowers when I want. And again, I'll hang this one the same way, except with this one, I think I'll add a little bit of that little that lace that you get at the Dollar Tree. And I love that little lace. It makes good little hangers for these. And I just cut a little section, and again, tie a knot on each side, and then just hot glue it to each top corner. I rarely drill into my pieces anymore, because if I can make these little cloth hangers work, I really like the look, and I like the look of that little knot showing there in the front. And now this little pocket is complete. The next one that we're going to be doing is very simple. This is just a small piece of 2x4, and I've painted it white on all sides. And then I'm just going to use, this is just a little piece of of a napkin, the top layer of a napkin, and I'm just going to decoupage, or I have decoupaged that on. And anytime that I decoupage, if I haven't mentioned it on the other ones, I always sand around the edges, and that cleans up that edge. And again, I'm just ripping a little piece of fabric in a square that's slightly smaller than my decoupage. And now I'm going to be putting a stamp on this also. Now, I like to order these little scripture stamps whenever I find a new one, and I do always get those from Amazon. Occasionally, I've found them at Hobby Lobby, but most of the time I order these from Amazon. Okay, for this little board, I've already decoupaged some decoupage paper on this one, and somehow I lost that footage, but this comes on little rolls, and I get this through Amazon also, but it makes really good decoupage paper. And here I'm just cutting a piece of this old bedspread that I've had for years. It's just a thin Chanel bedspread, and it's kind of an aqua color, and I use it on a lot of projects, but it's lasted me a long time. And just to add some extra texture to this piece, I'm going to make the wall pocket out of this. So I'm just going to glue this bottom and make a good hem on it, and that's what I'll be gluing onto the bottom. And then for the top, I'm not going to do anything to that top because I'm going to be adding another piece to the top, so I don't need that edge to be finished. And obviously, the same technique here. I'm just going to glue that bottom just as tight to the bottom as I can, and glue around the back. And then I'll be adding a doily to the top. And I'm going to start paying attention when I buy things to keep up with the name of them and where I buy them, because I have been getting a lot of questions, and like I said, I buy so many things that I've had for a long time, and so I don't keep up with that, but I will be in the future keeping up with the names of these. Now I have this little doily here, and I'm just going to cut it in half because all I'm going to use that for is that top. So I'll just lay it on that top and fold it under and glue it to secure it, and that will finish off my top and dress it up. And I think that gives this one a good little shabby chic look. And although I think this is really cute, I still felt like it needed some more, and so I'm just going to be adding a little shabby bow to it. And my last video that I did, I went more in depth on my shabby bows, but I'll show you here how to do them. But if you want a really detailed video, then just go to my last one. At some point, I'm going to learn how to link those videos on here, but I really am not tech savvy at all, and I just don't know how to do that yet. Now this one I felt like did need a little bit of stuffing, so I just take some of this polyfill and just stuff just a small amount down in it, because I want it somewhat to look stuffed, but not much. The main thing I want to do here is just add some padding in here so that my flower stems don't show. And now again, we're just going to add some greenery. And on this one, this is another little pick that the Dollar Tree has, and there's not a whole lot to this pick. This is the whole thing, but I do like this, and it worked really well to just add a little bit of lavender to this piece because I wanted to keep this one really simple. And now all I've done for this little shabby bow is just tied or tore a bunch of thin strips of different types of fabric. Now, what fabric you use here makes no difference at all. I do recommend that you use something that you can tear, because the wispier the better. And I just take a bunch of these little strings and just crisscross them, lay them crisscross together, tie them together with the string, and then I like to have a little tail on it, And so I take some longer pieces, do the same thing, just tie right in the middle, and then I'm just going to glue that long piece on and then glue the top piece over that. And you can trim these up just however you like. Obviously, I want to keep my little tails there from hanging down below my board, so I do go back and trim those. Now, I did forget to paint the top of this. Well, I didn't really forget to paint it. I meant for this to be the bottom, and I put my wall pocket on the wrong side, so I'll have to go back and paint over this one. But I have to trim these little things down because it's going to be sitting on a shelf, and so those little strings will get in the way of it sitting flat. And there, that one is finished. Now, here is our final wall hanging, and I don't know that you could really even call this one a wall pocket. This one, we're just going to make what I would call a miniature cloth vase, for lack of better words. That's just all I can think of to call this one. So I'm just going to take this little strip of fabric, and I'm going to secure a hem on all four sides, just so that it has a polished look. And then I'm just going to glue this to my piece, and I'll glue on the bottom and down the sides, but I'll leave that top open so that I can put a little stem of flowers in that. And I've already decoupaged this paper on also. This is also one of the decoupage papers that I get from Amazon, and I like the look of this paper, so I don't want to cover the whole thing up. And all I'm going to do is just put this little cloth vase down, secure it down on this board, and put a little stem on the top, or in the top. And then I felt like it needed a little something extra, because I do want to keep it simple, but I think that white is a little bit much just left on its own. So my idea here was to take my little letter stamps and stamp the word spring down this pocket. And I wanted to kind of randomly place the letters to say spring. And but my store got busy today, and I've been a little frazzled because I was by myself the last half of the day, and I was apparently really frazzled because I was supposed to spell spring, and I left out a letter, and I noticed that in editing it. But you know, it is what it is. I'll have to take that off later and redo it. But once I do that, I'll call this one finished, because like I said, I wanted to keep it simple. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope I've inspired you to just take some old scraps of wood and make you some wall pockets and decor. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless you and your family.